Hello, everyone. This is Calvin Russell, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credit Consultation. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today, we're going to talk about, can you legally refinance after a bank has declined your application? Let's go straight into it. So for those who don't know, we talked about refinancing a couple different times, but I've more so given you all options on, what I would recommend for an auto loan refinance, as that's typically the questions that we get with our 850 Club members. Okay. And now when you're talking about mortgages, that can play a role as well, too. So either way, this is just refinancing in general, refinancing any type of loan, personal loan, auto loan, mortgage loan, okay? And of course, a student loan if you're open to refinancing it. So let's go into what happens when you are denied. So for one, I'm assuming you guys already know what refinancing is. For those who don't know, I just do a quick breakdown of that. Essentially, you sign a contract with a financial provider, okay? And that's or a bank or whomever. Essentially, you've already signed up for that loan. You've gotten approved for that loan, and that could have been in the past or whatever. Either way, you're making monthly payments on that. And now circumstances have changed. Either you just want to get a lower payment, or your credit score has gone up and you want to get better terms. Whatever the case may be, you can refinance, right? So now, but the biggest mistake that people make with that refinance is that they think that they are stuck in a contract. Yes and no. So let's go ahead and break down those terms. So the bank, the easiest way to say this is you have a contract with the financial provider, the bank, whomever, right? That you promise to make these payments for a certain period of time, okay? At the end of the day, they just want to make sure one of two things are happening. Number one, that they're getting paid every single month, or this is the big or that they get paid all up front in general. They don't too much care. They make more money if you make the monthly payments. They're banking on that. That's monthly revenue. That's cash flow. Think about it. Let's say if you were the loan provider, right? And you have 50 people paying you every single month. Guys, come on now. We're talking Netflix money now, right? So Amazon money, right? So, excuse me. And so all of that plays a role, because essentially they don't want you to refinance, okay? So that's why banks will never, unless it's like a credit union, but most banks will never even ask you to refinance anything. Now, if you have a mortgage, you will see it's slightly different. They will try to ask you to refinance. Why? Because they want you to reset that clock. Okay, so when you have an auto loan, they know the chances are high that the car is going to get into an accident, that you're going to trade the car in. The chances of a person starting an auto loan and keeping it all the way through the entire loan process without any changes is kind of slim. Okay, because people hop in and out of cars all the time. Okay, versus with a mortgage, it's already expected. Hey, listen, you had a 30-year mortgage and you've now been paying for 5 years, 10 years, whatever that number is. If you refinance, your payments will be lower. Oh, well, how do I do that? Well, just re-sign back up with us and we'll just reset that to 25 years, 30 years. I'm not going to give you guys financial advice on that because there are pros and cons with that. We'll do that on another video. But for the most part, that usually makes sense for people, especially if you're paying, let's say, $1,200. You've had your mortgage. You're paying $1,200 a month for your mortgage. You've had it for quite some time. They refinance you and you could drop it down to $900. Who really wouldn't want to do that? The problem is that, the interest rate, one or two things are happening. Either the interest rate is extremely low and you're keeping the same term and you're just going to, like, for example, you signed a 30-year loan, 30-year mortgage loan contract, which is standard. People either do 15 or sometimes people do 20, but most people usually do 30. You've had it for, let's say, 10 years. They say, hey, you refinance with us, we'll set you back at 30. Right? And then your payment will be $900. It would be better if you could stay at the 20-year mark, right? And just finish that off instead of adding more time or resetting that time. But in most cases, they're giving you a slightly better interest rate, but it's really the years that they're adding on that makes a difference. Now, the question is, can you refinance a mortgage and then keep the same term and finish that term out? So for example, you started at 30, 10 years have gone, you got 20 years left. Can you still get a better rate and just keep with that 20-year term, depending on your options, depending on who the bank is and things of that sort? So these are the type of questions that you want to ask. Okay. Now, Now that you've figured that part out, you most definitely want to say, okay, what if I did all that and I applied and I got denied? Can I legally get another one? Absolutely. People see, here's the thing, you do have a contract with them, and again, like I mentioned, that contract is simply saying, hey, I promise to pay you and I promise to pay you on time. That's really what that is. But at the end of the day, they don't care if you pay them in a lump sum. So for example, if you refinance that loan, because that's essentially what you're doing, anytime that you refinance with the exact same bank, and then for example, if they deny you, all you got to do is just apply with, guess what, another bank. I know what you're thinking. Well, I applied at this bank and I got denied. What's the chances of another bank, saying yes? Well, a lot of different reasons. Number one, another bank may say yes, they may give you a higher interest rate. Another bank may say yes, and they may change some other terms. Or another bank may say yes because their score requirements are different. Like for example, a lot of people don't know when you try to apply for a loan at just a regular traditional mortgage at Chase Bank, they only take 640 credit scores and above. And so you may have your checking account with them, your savings, a few credit cards, all type of stuff with them, direct deposit, and you're trying to figure out why they denied you, and you're like, oh, well, if I can't go through Chase, I don't want to go through anyone. No, you can just go through another bank that you can get the exact same terms, but they're taking you as you are. Does that make sense? So just because one bank denies you does not mean that you can't try with another bank. Now, I know what you're thinking, Calvin, about the hard increase, hard pulls, things of that sort. Just here's the thing. Don't forget that you can have a conversation with the bank representative or the bank, or look up stuff online. You can ask questions and set the foundation without necessarily having to have your credit ran. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't want to waste, I wouldn't necessarily say waste a lot of time with that, because of course, the only way that they can give you the most accurate answer, you guessed it, they're going to have to run your credit at some point. But let's say, for example, you want to get a refinance, your score is in the 500s, and you may want to have that conversation just so they can set your expectations. But can you refinance, a mortgage or an auto loan at different credit scores? Absolutely. Even though you just got denied, you can legally do that, because just because you have a contract with them does not mean that you cannot shop around and then get approved with someone else. And then what they'll do is they'll pay off the other bank. That's how a refinance works when you're working with a different bank. So let's say, for example, you have the current contract with Bank A. You apply with them, you get denied. You then apply with, Bank B. They deny you too, right? Sucks. Life sucks, right? But that just means that either you don't qualify for a refinance in most places, or you're not asking enough questions to set the expectations so you know why you're going to get denied before you even give them your social security number and everything else that they need. So now you then say, you know what? Let me listen to what Calvin's saying, and I call Bank C. I get approved. What happens then? You get approved. They're going to pay off the loan from Bank A. Okay. And so now you're clear. You're good to go. It's the exact same thing when you trade in a car. It's the exact same thing that has a balance on it, I should say. So let's say, for example, you're buying a $20,000 car, and your car is, let's say, worth 3,000, but you owe 5,000, right? That $2,000 worth of negative equity is going to get added on to the new loan if the new bank allows for that $2,000 to be carried over. If they don't, one or two things got to happen. Either the dealership has to lose money on their cost and they have to kind of bring some numbers down, or 95% of the time they're going to tell you that you got to make up that difference, or you're going to have to essentially put some cash down. But it's the exact same thing. But in most cases, I won't say most, but in some cases, they're able to, pay off that balance, and that negative $2,000, they're going to add on to your new loan, but the new bank is going to send that $2,000 check, or well, technically $5,000 check, because that's what you owe. They're going to send that $5,000 check over to, the old bank. And then of course, the dealership is now buying that car for $3,000. So the new bank is only short $2,000. But remember, they added that to the new loan. Hope there wasn't a lot of numbers, but just so you guys can understand, just because you legally sign a contract with the bank, just understand what they're looking for you. They're just looking for them to get paid. They don't care who pays them per se. Okay, but you can legally go ahead and start another contract with another company, as long as, of course, they're going to go ahead and pay that off. Now, there are there's a lot of gray areas. We'll kind of separate those into different videos. Like, for example, can you buy how to buy two cars in the same month and stuff like that. I don't know if I did a video on that. That may be my next video. So, But either way, just to kind of clear some of that stuff up, because this is how people are doing it. They have the answers. And how do you get the answers? By asking questions, guys, by asking questions. So you can legally do that. So if you like this video, like it, you want to share it. And as always, be sure to subscribe, as we have nothing but great content on the way. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.